this was already our medicine. So it becomes really a bigger contentious issue because we were so afraid of marijuana when we were younger, something that culturally was a part of our traditions and healing practices. And we let it be bastardized into this thing that we couldn't go near because we knew I still am afraid driving through Texas sometimes because it takes one cop on a bad day with a bone to pick to decide, well, I think it's probable cause enough, so I'll take you in. And that's scary. Like if you're driving, even if you have documentation, whether you do or you don't, even if you purchase a legal product, which these products are legal in Texas, you run with the fear that law enforcement can arbitrarily choose when they will and will not enforce. And much of that decision making is based on personal bias. It has
100%.
Until we deal with systemic issues and the bias that we built in against Mexicanos and Tejanos, we're going to have to deal with that no matter what.
Black people also.
Yeah. For sure.
Because they...
it goes without saying.
The black community that really did bear the brunt of the crack epidemic and the
well, and that was sabotage on purpose.
100%,
like we've already seen
100%.
that they came out with that. So for Mexicanos, get rid of cannabis, make it outlaw, make marijuana, like even the use of the word marijuana, even the cannabis industry right now, they won't use it. And they say it's a racial term because Anslinger, wanted to use specifically marijuana to prohibit cannabis, weed. But the thing is, marijuana comes from us. It's like our contribution. It wasn't Anslinger's word. It was ours that they used. It's like when they use Mexican, like it's a dirty word. Right. It's not. I'm proud of that word.
Right.
I'm proud.
I am too.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, it gets me.
It gets you going. I can see that. I can see that.
How dare you? How dare you?
Right. It's funny that you thought that our name had to do with kind of like, it ties into it a little bit. Yeah. But
I mean, I didn't, it resonated.
Yeah. Part of the name is to speak to your point, right? I think the weed thing is part of it in peripherally speaking, but we've always been called degenerates, right? In the media, on a political cycle, every 4 years,
with cannabis or without it.
Without it, we've just been
demonized our people forever, and it was because of a land grab.
So I wanted to lean into it. I wanted to call myself the degenerate before they did. I wanted to kind of like take it back, so to speak. I wanted to feel like I was ahead of the curve if I ever gave my opinion and people would come back with like, oh, you're just blah, 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 or you represent this, or go back to your country. But I'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to, lean into it. And then the play on the, like, I guess the phonetic rhyme of generous being right before it, and just kind of like having that juxtaposition felt really very, very powerful to me. And then I also didn't want our name to be in Spanish. I wanted our name to be in English because we're American and because we're both, we're equally Mexican. I think that I will probably do a lot more things in Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish, but I wanted to make sure that people knew like we're here and we're not really like planning on going anywhere. We will touch on a lot of different kinds of topics like how we're doing now, but that was essentially the crux of it. But it really stems from the fact that me and my friends, we felt being called the degenerate.
Oh yeah.
Whenever we were young, whenever we were kids, by the cops, by other people.
And even if you were like a good kid, I did everything to be perfect then because of that. Because I was hell bent on being the first to get my family out of those spaces. Yeah. Like my grandfather was a rancher, so he wasn't like, yeah, let's go to the hood. You know? Yeah. The way that they imagine these things, like people want to live this life that's so hard on being human. It makes it way harder. The project life is not, yes, do we have community and culture and vibrancy and do we thrive regardless? Sometimes, yes, we do. But the life of it that's hard. It's really hard on a human mind and a human body. But I love that you fully embraced it. We're all about it. That I took a similar approach with cannabis because when I realized that I was going to be moving back to Texas, my eyes were wide and I was like, damn, legalizing Texas is going to be a real task. We're probably going to be the last state, just like with slavery for, similar reasons.
So what do you, I guess, how can we help? Or how can people watching help?
I think this is helping. Like having the conversation, me having like a little gummy, it being not an issue, and people realizing I'm mostly medicated all the time. It doesn't affect me in the way that it does other people. And I think destigmatizing is about having conversations. So like tias will come now, the tias will come, you know, the same tias before who were like, stay away from it because they were afraid for your safety, really. It had nothing to do with the plant.
Right.
It had everything to do with the police.
100%.
So now these tias are like, you know, I have joint pain. I have aches, you know, my
arthritis,
bones. Yeah. Do you have something for me? And I can talk to them about it. I can see, well, what are you looking for? What kind of experience? And you can have a thoughtful conversation where you can explain some of the science. And I think that's the most important thing, especially for our community, because this was taken from us, this thing that we can use to heal ourselves. Like from going to the doc wanted to slice it in my brain to having a gummy or a puff of something and being okay.
Right.
That's a huge jump.
What so education is what people can do, right? So your suggestion is become educated on these things and its history so that you don't get gaslit into thinking that you are something that you're not.
Or even getting gaslit into believing that it's evil, because that was all. If you are worried about the community and you have opinions on what's happening right now, whatever side of the aisle you land on, you have to know the actual history of what has happened to have an informed position.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just doing what everybody else is doing, which is talking out of your ass.
Or you're carrying somebody else's water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And without any merit, without like, that's what's killing me about this everything must be done on merit thing. I agree. Let's look at merit. Let's look at what people have achieved and, you know, and how they've been treated.
It's so funny that you say that because...
Like, I think about your parents actually a little bit.
Like I'm like, I would love to be based on merit. So you should probably give the drug dealer a chance because they probably have more merit. They know how to run a business better. They know what it means to import, export. Right. Like these are the people that I know for a fact are better at math than most of the people that are in school for math. That these are the people that I know for a fact can run calculations on the spot. They know what it means to be timely. They know what it means for like things to be off by a certain degree when it comes to like long, big shipments. Not trying to out anybody. I'm just saying, like, when you really think about what it means to be
math in your head like
correct,
that long enough,
like these people have merit. These people have value. These people can be valuable members of society. And if you're doing things based on merit, then they have, in a lot of ways, maybe not on with legal jargon, right? Maybe not on a legal standpoint, but they have the necessary characteristics to bring value to people on an economic level.
What if we gave folks an opportunity to develop those skills? Like, where else were they going to really develop that skill set? Right. If they had an entrepreneurial mind, but no resource and no opportunity, and a bunch of folks who didn't believe in them and already told them they were criminals. And by the way, if you're going to get harassed by the police anyway, like if you're going to get harassed anyway, you're going to get picked up anyway. Might as well have some coin to be able to bail yourself out.
Correct.
Because you can do the right thing. I'm not suggesting that we do the wrong things, friends. Like, not at all.
Right. Oh, of course.
But
We're not suggesting that at all.
You can do the right thing. You can be perfect, and you can still end up behind bars.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just the way it is.
Right.
So I understand why some of the street entrepreneurs did what they did. And yeah, they are very resourceful. And if we want to legalize this, we need to bring them into the conversation because they're going to share a lot of data and information about what worked, what didn't work.
They have the most data.
They